Okay, in this lab, uh, we are going to see we deploy another virtual machine, which we are going to configure it as a client. As I said in the COMSL environment, it is a three-tier architecture, where you need one machine COMSER, and you can have multiple machines as a media agent. And here for demo purpose, we deploy only one media agent, and you can have any number of client machines. So here for the demonstration, I will create one machine as a client. So let's go ahead and create a virtual machine. So this time let's select the virtual machine as an Linux box. Okay, I mean you can deploy, even you can have a client, can be anything, right? The customer can use any operating system, whether it is Windows or Linux. So for demo purpose, let's create an okay, let's create both Windows and also Linux. Okay, I'll show both. So for now, let's create the Linux machine first. I'll yeah, the subscription default resource group. You want to select the one that we created earlier, and name it as an Linux client. You can give any name. Ensure that region is same that you selected earlier. South India I selected earlier. And image, I'll select the Ubuntu virtual server, which is a Linux box. And size, okay, uh, so even I can go for a smaller size, but two vCPUs, let's see if there is much smaller size, because for client, for demonstration purpose, you can use even a smaller the instance type. I believe this should be okay, B1S. So let's select that B1S or B2S. Okay, let's go with the B2S, right? So one vCPU, 1 GB RAM might be too slow. So I'll select the B2S. So that will cost around 3,500 per month if I keep that VM running all the time. But usually I don't keep the VM running all the time. I'll keep it running only while testing the backup, and post when the lab is completed, I'll keep the VM in the stopped state. Yep, because it's a Linux virtual machine, it is asking for SSH public key or password. So I'll select the password. I'll create an user. Same thing. Creating a password might not be secure, but because it is a lab environment, I want to keep everything simple. I am going ahead with creating a user. For simplicity purpose, I am using the same user password. Okay, port 22 should be open. Okay, by default it is giving me 30 GB disk here. Let's make it some little bigger, like the 64 should be fine. Yeah, 64 you can select. Anyhow, we are going to 64 should be okay. And let's go for the networking. So here it is important, you need to ensure that the virtual network is selected as same that you selected for media agent and COMSER. Okay, and ensure the subnet is also same, and public IP name, we need that, so keep it default. And inbound port allow. Yeah, so for now this should be okay. Go to the next management, go with the default section, I mean the default setting, advanced, again default setting, tag default, and go for review and create. So the validation is passed. Now you can see here, if I run the virtual machine for 1 hour, it will incur me 5 rupees. Okay, around 5 Indian rupees. So I'm okay with that. Go ahead and create it. I'm passing the video. Okay, I resumed it. So now the the deployment is completed. If I go to that virtual machine, you have an public IP, private IP assigned. So you need to do some tweaking. You have to make this private IP static. For that, go to the networking, network setting, and here you have a network interface. Click on that. And go to the IP config. Okay, make it static. So it picked the IP same. Save it. It will show in the notification when it is completed. Yeah, update is completed. Now you can see the private IP address is showing as static. Now let's go back again to the home virtual machine. Click on the Linux client, and then you have to connect. So let's see what are the different ways we can connect. So in the Linux you have different ways to connect, so I will be using the simple. There are 3 more ways. So for Linux machine, what I will prefer is I will try to connect from a putty session. I have a putty installed. If you don't have a putty on your local computer, you need to install the putty. It is an open source. So if you wanted to download the putty session, if you don't have on your local computer, just go to the putty download page. So you can see that putty.org. So what you have to do, simply download the putty. So once you download it, it is an executable file. You can search here and then it will open that putty session. So what I want to give, as I mentioned earlier, you need to connect using the public IP address, right? So give the public IP address, the port 22, keep the default and open. Okay, accept it. The username which I created earlier, cvadmin, and the password that I entered at the time of creating a virtual machine. Then you are able to access that Linux client. Right now the user, you want to see who the user is, so it is a cvadmin. To elevate to the root, you need to run that command sudo su hyphen, sorry, now it is root, right? And if you want to see the IP address, so here the command is for Ubuntu. It's an Ubuntu virtual machine, use IPA. That will show you the private IP address, which is 10.0.0.6, right? Which is same as what you see in the console, Azure console. You can see that. Let me take you there. Yeah, it is same as 10.0.0.6, right? Okay, so after you verified the IP, I will also request you to try to ping the other virtual machines that you created. The com server machine which has an IP address 10.0.0.4. If that is not same in your environment, go to the virtual machine, click on the com server and find out the private IP address, right? If it is something different, you have to copy that, right? For me it is 10.0.0.4. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to see the connectivity from the Linux client to the com server, right? Ping that IP. Yeah, it is responding, so it is connected. Similarly, go to the another virtual machine which is the media agent, find out the private IP address. For me it is 10.0.0.5. select that and come back to the Linux client and ping that IP address. Okay, so it is connected now. So all the 3 machines are connected with each other, so I can confirm that using the ping command. So in the next lab, we'll try to deploy another virtual machine which can be used as a Windows client. Okay.